could join us. Now, with 120 hotspots, police in the Bono East region say violent crimes have drastically reduced and campaigns have been peaceful. But for some residents, coming across a dead body in marketplaces is not uncommon. Like all the other regions we visited, they complain about arms in wrong hands, and they say police must consolidate the relative peace they have enjoyed so far and boost their presence on the ground. Today, in our series, Safety for My Vote, Anna Sabit reports.
Today, we are in Techiman on the principal streets to engage residents on some of the topmost security concerns ahead of the December elections and getting to the end of the year.
We usually have security issues during elections, so we need to strengthen our security to save the situation.
Armed robbers and
thieves are all over the market. Sometimes you find dead bodies in the market too.
Techiman had security issues. For
us here in Techiman, armed robbery, especially on the route, is on the rise. From the streets, we sought to find the current security situation from the Ghana Police Service. DCOP Asumadu Ochri Dakun is the acting Bono East Regional Commander.
The current security situation in the Bono East region is a mixed one because we have a situation where, on one hand, other crimes like kidnappings and murders, and then the numerous chieftaincy clashes have gone down. Robberies are not going the way we want it to be. Yes.
On political violence, DCOP Ochidakun tells me that though the region is relatively peaceful, the police has been able to identify over 120 flashpoints across the 11 constituencies of the region.
I think I can say that we have had a very peaceful campaign period in all the constituencies. We haven't actually received any complaint that Party A was having a rally and then they have clashed with Party B people. The flashpoints, the numbers keep changing, yes, but I can tell you we have around about 120 in all.
These poor people on the grounds do happy with the improved security situation of the region. They are however calling on the police to up their game ahead of the December elections. There is improvement in the security situation during elections, but the police needs to be improved. We have to tighten our security so they will be able to deal with any situation. Others, including this gentleman, popularly known as La Soup, is however confident that the security is up to the task and the election will be generally peaceful. Ghanaians are united, and I believe there won't be violence this time round. Our security is very tight too, so I have no doubt the election will be generally peaceful. For the few badness who are aiming at perpetuating violence on the election day, the police has a message for you.
Stay away from troublemaking, because police will be there. Police, we are determined, we are committed, we are ready, and we are going to be very robust on that day.
So this has been the concerns of the people here in Techiman. From the Bono East Regional Capital, here in Techiman, my name is Anna Sabit for JoyNews.
Now, the election season is upon us, and the NDC is trying desperately to associate itself with the successful implementation of the Free Senior High School project. These are the words of the Executive Director of the Dankwa Institute, Richard Ahiagba. Speaking at a news conference to review the manifesto promises of the opposition NDC, the pro-NPP think tank noted that the NDC's promise to extend the free SHS to cover private senior high schools is an attempt by the party to deceive Ghanaians into voting for them in the upcoming election. Kweku Asante is at that news conference and joins us with more. Kweku, on what basis is the Dankwa Institute saying these promises by the NDC are not feasible? Kweku, unmute your microphones, please, so we can proceed.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear.
So, according to Richard Ahiagba, the Executive Director of the Dankwa Institute, the opposition NDC cannot be trusted when it comes to things like the Free Senior High School, because in the 2016 campaign, according to Mr. Richard Ahiagba, the NDC went on a campaign to discredit that promise and actually said a lot of things to the effect that the promise was not feasible. And so for the NDC to turn around this year to say that they are going to add private senior high school to the program is completely disingenuous. But they make this very important point, Daniel, that the NDC collapsed or cancelled allowances for teacher training allowances, nursing training allowances, because they said there was no money. And according to Dankwa Institute, their own posting shows that to do any, to add private senior high school to the free senior high school policy will cost $3 billion every year. And if it's going to cost $3 billion annually, and already you cancelled teacher training allowances and the rest because you said there was no money, then there was no way, and then there is no way you can be able to afford 3 billion Ghana cedis as an additional cost to this free senior high school project. And so they think it's completely not something that is workable.
Now, which other issues have the Dankwa Institute been raising at this news conference, Kweku?
Well, so Dankwa Institute has been trying to review the policies as they have been in the manifesto of the NDC in the lead up to this year general election. They've been taking issues with a lot of the promises. For instance, the big push agenda by the NDC, where the former president is saying he is going to invest $10 billion in the infrastructure of the country. According to them, the NDC has a certain propensity, and according to them, Mahama has an affinity with the figure $10 billion, because they said they were going to do the Hope City project for $10 billion. They couldn't do it. They said they were going to do the STX-backed $10 billion affordable house, and they couldn't do it. And so according to them, this is completely not workable. Again, they raised the issue with the promise by the NDC to create jobs. They said that the NDC were enough, they did not create any jobs, and so why are they promising now they are going to create jobs? Right. It's not something that is workable, Daniel.
Kweku, thank you very much for joining us with those updates. We'll have more in subsequent bulletins. Now, founder and president of Imani Africa, Franklin Kujo, has described the Electoral Commission's publication of a voters' register in the form of a Google document online as irresponsible and absurd. Mr. Kujo says the explanation given by Chairperson Jean Mensah for the action is unacceptable. Mrs. Mensah stated in an interaction with journalists that the publication, which has been heavily criticized as being a breach of voters' privacy, was done in accordance with electoral law. Mr. Kujo, however, says this was a poor application of said law.
Everything you've heard from the EC boss is uninspiring. It's a cantata of a lot of just it's not even mythical errors, just amateurish errors. The fact that the law gives you right to publish names does not mean that you should use the list of technology, the list of all the technologies that we have. That could be accessed by just everybody, any part of the world, and then just dump the data there. I mean, I thought this EC was in fact, of course, I knew they were incompetent, but I didn't realize that they were irresponsible as well. Now, the fact that the law gives you rights in order to publish names of register does not mean that you put it in a manner that will be accessed by everybody. I really had stopped. I asked my team that we should just stop talking about the EC, but we couldn't help it when we just realized that they went to the lowest depths of absurdity in order to publish this critical data.
Now, the NDC's presidential candidate, John Dramani Mahama, ended his tour of the Upper East region with an overnight campaign traveling to hard-to-reach areas in a last-minute bid to rule the vote of the electorate. John Mahama and his campaign team left their hotel at 10:30 a.m. on Tuesday and returned at 5:30 a.m. Wednesday morning. Maxwell Agbagba was with the team and reports how some reporters of the party slept at public parks as they waited for his visit.
The NDC presidential candidate has been moving to various constituencies. As we speak right now, he's in Paga and he's about to greet the chief of Paga. But what you can see behind me is actually the main Navrongo to Paga road. Now, this road, there's a traffic situation on this stretch because many NDC supporters have gathered here, all of them waiting to hear John Mahama speak at the Paga Chief's Palace. A lot of them are waiting, some of them on motorbikes, as you can see, jubilating here. So they have caused some kind of a traffic situation here on the main Navrongo Paga Road. It's jubilation for them. This is not a rally ground. The NDC presidential candidate is just coming here to visit the chief of Paga, and all the supporters have converged here. I have with me the member of parliament for Boku Central, Mahama Yariga. He's here with me. Let's find out from him what the campaign has been like.
He's being received everywhere enthusiastically. You can see the energy. The young people are yearning for the second coming of John Dramani Mahama as president. I mean, they are listening. He's taking his time to deliver the message, to explain what he will do in his second term, and the focus on continuing on the infrastructure development and providing job opportunities for the young people and skills training and etc. and developing the agricultural potential of the North is something that is going down well with the people of the North. And everywhere we go, the people are yearning for NDC to come back.
Great. So
you can see the energy all around.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that victory is ours.
We wait to see.
It shall be.
Okay, thank you. So you just heard from Boku Central MP, Mahama Ayariga. Now, the NDC presidential candidate has been talking about the Japa deal. He's saying that for persons who illegitimately benefited from the deal, if the NDC wins, they should return the monies.
I think he has hit the nail right on the head. And what did he say? He said that all those who might have benefited from the deal, putting the interest of the nation first. And when you look at the report of the special prosecutor, the reason for which he resigned, and that's also an indictment on this administration, to have the special prosecutor resign at this time is an indictment. The report has indicted the president, the report has indicted the finance minister, the report has indicted the deputy minister of finance. And so, if any of these persons can be said to have benefited from the deal up to this point, I think that I would support a future NDC government led by John Dramani Mahama to take our money back and prosecute them.
We just heard from Mr. Abraham Amaliba. Abraham Amaliba is a member of the NDC legal team.
Oh, I'm very, very happy because this is our candidate who is coming to lead us in the victory. And this MPP government, actually, when they came into power, we are suffering.
You are suffering. You say you are suffering. What do you mean you're suffering?
Because,
how do you mean?
What I mean is that when they came, all the business they collapsed, all the banks collapsed. So we don't have even food to eat. It's difficult for us.
So excited because we are having the incoming president in our midst. That's why we are so excited.
It's 2:34 a.m. and we just left the Busa South constituency now. Through the Busa North constituency, we'll be going through Navrongo. But there's a stop right now, and the NDC presidential candidate is meeting one of the chiefs here in this community shortly all these vehicles were in the Busa South constituency. Even around this time at 2:33, it was quite a rough terrain. If you're sitting in a vehicle and using that untarred road, the dust covers the entire windscreen, something making it very difficult for the drivers to actually drive through. But they had to endure. And around 2:33 a.m., they are still here in this constituency, still going to meet some chiefs, interact with them, all in a bid to win their votes and their support come December 7th.
We've been waiting here for more than 12 hours.
What time did you come here yesterday?
We came here, the moment we got to know that he was to come, then we went to them, then they said they were coming at 8 o'clock.
8 p.m.
8 p.m.
So Tuesday.
Okay. So we came out, we went round, we made cars to go round and look for people, tell the people to come back as a failure to the previous day. And then they started coming. They started coming here. If you had come here the daytime, you would have been surprised. You would have been surprised. It was fantastic.
So what made you stay to endure?
We stayed here to receive our incoming president.
I came here around 5 o'clock in the evening time. Up to now.
That's Tuesday 5 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay. And you've been waiting here till dawn 4 a.m.?
4 a.m.
Let's get on the phone lines and speak to Maxwell, who is with the NDC's campaign team. Max, it appears there is no rest in sight for the team. Hello, Maxwell. Unfortunately, we lost Maxwell Agbagba. We will reconnect with him before the day is over. But President Akufo-Addo has taken on the former President Mahama, saying he cannot be trusted to deliver on the promises he's making to Ghanaians. At a drive through the Mala market, the president called on the traders to assess his work so far and vote for him. President Akufo-Addo is on day 2 of his Greater Accra Region tour.
We're met here today on a sad but joyous occasion. Sad because we've come to remind ourselves of the passage of a colleague who was a valiant member of our struggle for freedom and democracy in Ghana. Amele Tego was a politician of the first rank. She founded the women's wing of the MPP. And she was a vibrant member of the New Patriotic Party right until her untimely death. She served President Kufuor's government with zeal and enthusiasm. And it's all that we remember. Remember a woman who was determined to break through the ceiling and the glass barrier and make it clear that women had as strong a contribution to make to the public life of our country as any man. All I can say is that today means that Theresa Amele Tego, we will never ever forget her. And this monument stands as testimony to the work that she has done for our community, for our party, and above all, for our country. May she rest in perfect peace in the bosom of the Almighty until the last day of the resurrection when we shall all meet again. Amen. Thank you.
Now, you heard the president there speaking ahead of the unveiling of a statue of the first member of parliament for Ablekuma West constituency, Theresa Amele Tego, at the famous Dansoman roundabout. Now, she died some 10 years ago. He's also expected to commission phase 1 of the Pokwase interchange. Elton Brobe joins us on the line. Elton, tell us a bit more about what the president has been up to on day 2 of his tour. Right, Elton, can you hear me? Right. So what has the president been up to on the second day of his tour?
So we are currently at Abobosi Market where he is, has become custom with the tour so far. He's just about addressing the traders here and to assure them a government commitment to address their needs. Indeed, in all the markets that we've been so far, the message to them has been that for those who did not benefit from the first government stimulus package, small businesses deal with the impact of the COVID-19. Government has plans to extend similar financial support to such individuals, and for that reason, they should put together their name. The MBSSI will be in touch with them, and the government will send some amount of money to them to help them resurrect the businesses. But before getting here, the first port of call was at the Dansoman roundabout in the Abletman West constituency. Now, it was a program to honor the memory of the first member of parliament for that particular area, Teresa Amelete, who died 10 years ago. The government has put together a statue right in the middle of the roundabout to honor her memory. And for those who may not know, Teresa Amelete, her claim to fame can be traced back to the December 1999, Real, when she led protests against the perceived government inaction over the murder of countless women in the Greater Accra region, and that earned her the name Iron Lady. But for the constituency in this particular area, her uncompromising character was the fact that she touched the lives of people in a very positive way through her various roles as MP, deputy minister, and assembly member. They are so excited that government has found the need to honor her in the manner that President Akufo-Addo did this afternoon at the Dansoman roundabout. From here, the next place will be the Pokurasi interchange. Government officials describe it as the biggest in West Africa. The first phase, according to the roads minister, is ready to be commissioned and open to traffic to allow flow of traffic in that particular enclave. And then the program all of us are looking forward to will be later this evening when President Akufo-Addo will meet religious leaders, identifiable groups, and the point of the meeting is for government to assure the nation about the president's commitment to ensure a peaceful cruise in December. The issue about security, the issue about people having the freedom to go out and exercise their franchise. That assurance is what we are expecting to hear, and that's the meeting that will climb up the 2-day tour of the Greater Accra region later this evening at the State Fair Center.
Do we know where the president is headed to next after the Greater Accra region?
So after the Greater Accra region, tomorrow morning, the president will move to the Central region. Castor will be the first place call, and then we'll move to the other parts of the region. He is expected to spend 2 days in the Central region. My information is that because of the complex nature of the voting pattern in the Central region, President Akufo-Addo is expected to touch base in almost every nook and cranny in the Central region. More especially when you have the running mates of the NDC coming from this region. The Central has always been a swing region, and for that reason, that's how, in part of the limited time available before we go into the polls, 3 days will be dedicated to the Central region. Every village, every community, I'm told, will be touched, especially in areas that the MPP have not been performing in the last election. And then to the Western region for just 1 day, then to the Central region for 3 days, and then back to the Greater Accra region for another 2 days to climb up the electionary campaign of for election 2020.
Right. Thank you very much, Elson Brobe. It looks like a very packed schedule, and Elson, of course, will be with the president's team every step of the way. Now, speaking of the Central region, Imani's president, Franklin Kujo, has been saying that from the studies and the surveys that he has seen, the current administration seems to be enjoying the upper hand in that part of the country. The Central region, of course, is a key swing region when it comes to determining Ghana's electoral fortunes. The person the Central region votes for often enters Jubilee House. So let's take a listen to Franklin speaking to us this morning on Prime Morning.
I've been looking into data from credible field data from about 30 constituencies in Central and Accra, and a few more that will come. I can say in Accra is neck and neck. While in Central, it looks quite, promising somehow for the current administration. But there are certain dynamics that ought to be played with. So that I'm looking at the data. I also play with the data again to find out, to make a proper determination of what it is. But like I said, we normally do not do polls, but essentially picking up from the things we are seeing in some of the swing regions is going to be really tough. The president's image somehow continues to be a bit appealing, whereas some of the MPs are actually in danger.
A lot of the polls that we are seeing were carried out before Martin Amidu's resignation, and the number of governance questions that were raised as a result of Ejapa and what have you. Do you think that these would have a significant impact on the outcome of the election?
So of the 30 constituencies I've looked at, there's only one constituency in Accra, also West Wogo, where people are trying to say that, oh, well, he's doing well, but the corruption issue is becoming too much. About 40% of the persons there are worried about corruption. That was even before the Machamidu resigned. But if we want to find out the other issues they care about, of all the 30 constituencies, except one, incidentally, corruption is taking a back burner. I mean, it's not even featured. People are interested in bread and butter issues.
Election headquarters coverage was brought to you by
Use more purchase of premium products via.
Now on Arrival Live, with just 12 days to the presidential and parliamentary elections, the Motor Transport and Traffic Directorate of the Police Service has intensified its plea to Ghanaians to be extra cautious and disciplined on our roads. The message is simple: kill your speed before it kills you. Ashanti Region MTTD Bus Superintendent Emmanuel Edubuahin says the police are doing their best possible to ensure compliance with road safety regulations, but people must take their destinies into their own hands.
What we are pleading with the general public is even to be self-compliant with the law. Behave as if there's no policeman, because you cannot get policemen with the greatest of respect, from Accra to Paga. So anywhere that you may be passing or crossing or riding or driving, you should have it at the back of your mind that you are policing yourself. If even you are driving with your wife or your kids or your family, the family should also be a police to you and to ourselves. So that is what we are trying to do now. So we are doing all these things and then back it to the enforcement. Let us be disciplined. Discipline in terms of making sure that we do not speed. Speed kills. Speed kills more than you think. So let us kill our speed before our speed kills us. And again, let us also refrain from drinking and driving. We know from our child, when we were even kids, that if you drink, don't drive. If you drive, don't drink. So let us go back to all these things that we were taught when we were kids. Please, if a pedestrian, we know that the pedestrian crossings that are provided in town are not all that much, not even in town alone, on our highways. But the little that we have, let us make good use of them. Don't cross anywhere or anyhow. My colleague drivers too, because I'm also a driver, please let us also consider other road users as part of the road users that we know.
Now, coming up in business here on JoyNews today, the Ghana Revenue Authority has simplified all the domestic tax laws as part of measures to increase revenue mobilization today. Darryl Kwao has more on this after these messages.
Hi there, time for some business news. My name is Darryl Kwab. The Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, as part of measures to increase revenue mobilization, has simplified all the domestic tax laws in the country. The move is expected to make the work of the revenue collection officers easier. Speaking at a sensitization workshop to make available the abridged law to stakeholders, Head of Communications and Public Affairs at the GRA, ASP Florence Asante, described the move as a critical one that will improve tax payments.
GRA is undergoing transformation. We are changing the way we work to suit our taxpayers because that's the right thing to do at this time, and we are transforming our processes. And as part of the transformation and what we call our roadmap to excellence, we have abridged our tax laws. We have made them simpler for our taxpayers to comply. Why do we want to do that? We've got feedback from them that sometimes it's difficult for them to understand some of their obligations. So this whole process is about making sure that our tax laws are simple enough for taxpayers to understand and assisting them to comply. That's why we are here today.
So the kind of people that you have here, is it going to be just a one-off something or something like that?
No, not at all. It's a nationwide exercise. We are going to all the regional capitals, and then we are doing a few more. As we speak, we are doing another program in Tema for another group of taxpayers. So we want to make sure that as many taxpayers are covered and they get a feedback that we've made our tax laws simple enough for them to understand. In addition to that, we put copies of the abridged tax laws on our website so that it's accessible. You don't have to go and buy. So you can go to our website and go and download a copy for reference.
Well, still on taxes, the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications is asking government to review taxes slapped on telcos. The chamber laments the varying tax components specific to the mobile sector is overburdening its members, a situation that could hinder government's quest to expand telecom infrastructure to the unserved and underserved population. Chief Executive of the chamber, Dr. Ken Ashigbe, spoke to Joy Business at the launch of a total tax distribution study by his outfit.
As an industry, we pay more than our fair share of the taxes. If you consider that for every 100 cedis that comes into the industry as revenue, over 48 cedis goes back. And it's important that if we really would want to push government of Ghana's digitization agenda, we engage properly, collaborate with government to ensure that we can reduce the incidence of taxes that are on the industry, so that we would be able to push government of Ghana's digitization agenda, make sure that we can expand telecommunication infrastructure to the very last person, ensure that the digital gap divide that exists, which is a development gap, can be achieved. And that can only happen when we work together with all stakeholders to ensure that we find the optimum level at which we should tax the industry. And and I think we need to reiterate, it's important that we stop front loading the taxes. So taxes like CST, we need to find ways of taking them out so that we can grow the pie and so that the corporate income taxes can increase, not only for our members, but also the various businesses that are leveraging on the telecommunication sector.
Now, so far, about 11 financial institutions and fintech companies have completed the integration for the deployment of the new QR code payment system. This is a step ahead in the move by government to increase the use of electronic payment systems and reduce physical cash. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia last week used the system to purchase the local delicacy wache in Accra. Now, Chief Executive of the Ghana Interbank Payments and Settlement System, Achi Hesse, disclosed that the remaining banks are expected to complete the process before the end of the year.
What he did recently was just a testimonial show that for everyone to have evidence of the fact that it really works. And that's basically what he did. Like I said earlier on, as we speak, there are roughly 11 banks that are ready. One fintech company and one mobile money company that is ready. I believe that by mid-December, everybody else would be on board. So there's one thing, creating the standard, and then the center being ready, and another thing, each and every individual financial institution working to integrate and make it available to their customers.
So the question is, apart from these banks that are ready, what about the retailers, the shop owners? How far with your movement with them and all that?
Well, the shop owners or the merchants and corporates, they have their accounts with either the banks or the mobile money companies or the fintech companies. And they are the payment providers, service providers. So they should go and see them for them to generate a GHQR code for them.
Is it for free?
For generation is for free, yes. The ones they've generated it, basically what they are doing is linking it to your bank account or to your mobile money wallet or to your fintech wallet. And when payments are made, the funds go straight into those, what do you call it, fund sources.
Then individuals as well. Myself, I want to buy wachi, I want to buy rice or something.
For the individual, you have a bank account or you have a mobile wallet or you have a fintech wallet. Once your bank has completed the integration, it means that you can either go into your mobile app and then use the scan that's in there, which means that the scan not in there is GHQR compliance. And once you scan, you can then make payments. If you have a feature phone or a YAM phone, every payment service provider, they have their own short code, *773# or whatever. Once you type it in and your bank or fintech company or mobile money company has completed the integration, once you type their short code, you see GH link payments. As soon as you press that or you choose that option, you can type in the number underneath the black and white boxes as well. And then you can type in the amount and then also effect payment.
And we've got a full bulletin of business news at the top of the hour. Sports is up next.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the sports segment with me, Reiko Ampofo. We start off with some Ghana Premier League and still, talking about the Heart of Folk ASHGOLD draw. And the man of the match from that game was Patrick Razak, and he says the fans should expect more from him this season.
First of all, I would say it was been a very tough game, but our ambition is to win our first game. But as you can see, it has been a very tough game for us, but we take it like that. But what I would say that we'll focus and think about our next match.
Now, your performance that you put out there, do you think were you impressed with yourself?
I would not say I'm impressed because our ambition is for the team to win, and I think everybody have given his best. But so far as we did not get a win, we will say our performance was not encourageable. So we'll try and work our performance or our team shaping, and I think we'll come strongly.
Now, that second goal you created, you lobbed the ball over the defender and then you made a cross. That move you made with the defender, was it something you planned to do or was it just out of the moment?
No, I think we practice at training ground, and as I get the ball, I raise up my hand. I see that my striker is at a good position, and as a team, if I don't have the position to score, I have to lay back to my teammate to score. So I think I saw it earlier on, and that's what I give it to him, and I think it resulted to a goal. So I think it was a rehearsal from training ground, and I think it resulted in a game. So I'm so happy for that.
Welcome back to the Ghana Premier League. What more should we be looking out for from you?
What I have to say that, as I said earlier on, is the team first before individual. So with my colleagues, I think we are going to gather ourselves and do a good performance this season for Accra Folk.